Argentina, a land of mystery, secrets, and whispers of the past. Beneath its vast pampas lie echoes of one of history's darkest chapters, echoes some say never truly ended. Tonight, we uncover the hidden trail of Nazi artifacts in Argentina, and the secrets they may reveal. Did Nazi leaders really escape Europe? Evidence suggests many found refuge in South America, particularly Argentina. But what's even more intriguing, artifacts linked to the Third Reich continue to surface. Nazi flags, medals, weapons, personal belongings once thought lost. Are these relics just forgotten remnants, or clues to a secret network that survived, even thrived, on the other side of the world? As the Third Reich collapsed in 1945, the world watched as the once mighty Nazi regime crumbled into chaos and devastation. Cities across Europe lay in ruins, and the horrors of war were finally coming to light. The end of the conflict marked not just a military defeat, but the beginning of a global reckoning with the crimes committed during those dark years. Many high-ranking Nazis faced two fates: justice at the hands of the Allies, or a desperate escape into the shadows. The Nuremberg trials brought some to account, but others vanished, slipping away under false identities, determined to evade prosecution for their roles in the atrocities. Argentina, under President Juan Perón, opened its doors to waves of European immigrants. Officially, the policy was to help rebuild the nation after the war. Unofficially, it provided a convenient refuge for those seeking to escape justice. Among them, former Nazi officials and collaborators who blended in with legitimate refugees. Documents and testimonies reveal that these fugitives were aided by organized escape routes, known as rat lines, which stretched across Europe and South America. These secret networks, often supported by sympathizers and corrupt officials, provided false papers, safe houses, and passage to new lives far from the reach of Allied investigators. In the years that followed, rumors began to swirl in small, Argentine towns. Locals whispered about mysterious foreigners, strange gatherings, and hidden collections. Decades later, these stories would be confirmed as news broke of Nazi artifacts discovered in forgotten warehouses and dusty attics. In the 1980s, local historians and collectors started to uncover chilling evidence: Nazi items left behind in Argentina. These objects, from medals bearing Hitler's insignia to personal effects, raised disturbing questions about the lives and intentions of those who brought them here. Among the discoveries were uniforms emblazoned with the infamous SS skull, preserved as if waiting for their owners to return, or for their secrets to be revealed. Even suitcases stamped with swastikas surfaced, grim reminders of a past that refused to stay buried, each one a silent witness to a hidden chapter of history. Some artifacts were found concealed in basements behind false walls, or buried deep on rural estates, deliberately hidden, as if someone wanted them preserved for future generations. These discoveries continue to spark debate and fascination, leaving us to wonder what other secrets might still be waiting to be uncovered. Why go to such lengths to hide these objects? What secrets were so important that they had to be locked away, sometimes for generations, in hidden rooms and secret compartments? Were these items simply souvenirs, mementos of a lost cause, or were they trophies, symbols of a regime that refused to fade quietly into history? Some researchers suggest a far more disturbing possibility. These artifacts may be evidence of a coordinated effort to maintain Nazi influence, even after the war's official end. Could these objects have played a role in secret gatherings, where coded messages were exchanged and plans were quietly set in motion? Or perhaps they served as markers, signs of territory claimed, far from the watchful eyes of post-war Europe, in the vast and remote landscapes of Argentina. Argentina was not just a place to hide. It became a fertile ground where Nazi ideology could quietly persist, taking root in new communities and influencing generations. In some towns, entire enclaves of former SS officers and their families formed, blending into the local population while keeping their pasts alive behind closed doors. Children grew up surrounded by these relics, sometimes inheriting not just objects, but the weight of a dark and complicated legacy. Each artifact tells a story: a dagger with engraved initials, a uniform carefully preserved, each piece a silent witness to history's shadows. Stacks of documents, written in German, detail operations, contacts, and the networks that stretched across continents, hinting at the scale of what was hidden. Each item is a breadcrumb, a clue in a much larger puzzle, one that authorities were often slow, or perhaps unwilling to fully investigate, leaving many questions still unanswered. One notorious discovery belonged to Erich Priebke, an SS officer accused of war crimes. Hidden for decades in an Argentine villa, investigators found letters, photos, and ceremonial items that had survived untouched. Priebke wasn't alone. Across the country, dozens of finds suggest a network lingering long after the war. And with each discovery, a haunting question emerges. How deep does this legacy go? Some researchers propose a provocative theory. Argentina wasn't just a refuge. It was strategic. Could some Nazis have planned a second Reich in South America? Could these artifacts be proof? These objects weren't scattered. They were curated, preserved, almost ceremoniously. What message were they meant to carry, and to whom? Modern forensic analysis confirms that some of these mysterious artifacts were indeed manufactured in Germany during the height of the Third Reich, their materials and craftsmanship matching those of the era with remarkable precision. Scientists use advanced techniques like radiocarbon dating, metallurgical analysis, and even microscopic examination to verify their origins, leaving little doubt about their authenticity. The documents that accompany these objects are decades old, their paper yellowed and ink faded, yet untouched by time in ways that seem almost impossible. Science, with its rigorous methods, proves their authenticity beyond reasonable doubt, confirming that these are not modern forgeries but genuine relics of a dark chapter in history. Yet for all the answers science provides, it cannot explain the deeper mysteries, why these items were hidden so carefully, or who orchestrated their preservation across continents and decades. The motives behind their concealment remain shrouded in secrecy. Local legends passed down through generations speak of secret bunkers carved into the Andes, of crates buried beneath the roots of ancient vineyards, and of shadowy figures who arrived in the dead of night, leaving behind only whispers and questions. There are tales of auctions that vanish from official records, where rare objects change hands in silence, their histories erase as quickly as they appear. Are these just stories, the product of overactive imaginations, or are they fragments of a hidden truth, deliberately obscured by those with something to hide? The line between myth and reality blurs in the telling. Each artifact, unearthed from the shadows, seems to ask a silent question. What else lies buried in Argentina's vast and secretive landscape, waiting to be discovered? Nazi artifacts in Argentina are more than mere curiosities. They are fragments of a hidden story, each piece a clue to a larger, more complex puzzle that spans continents and generations. Each medal, each uniform, carries with it the weight of history and the burden of unanswered questions. Each letter, whether handwritten or typed, whispers questions we may never fully answer, hinting at stories that remain just out of reach. Are these remnants simply echoes of a past that should have been buried forever? Or are they clues to a network that never truly ended? History leaves traces, sometimes in the most unexpected places. Argentina's hidden Nazi relics remind us that the past is never truly gone. It lingers in the shadows, waiting to be uncovered by those willing to look. Some mysteries remain unsolved, waiting for the curious and vigilant to uncover their secrets, and perhaps, to finally bring the truth into the light.